Oh yeah, Leicester City blew a 2-goal lead, and then how'd you do that in the 95th minute, Trev? I see you smirking.
Well,
there.
I mean,
It's unbelievable, wasn't
straight away, fair play to Joe Shannon. You'd think he was a Tottenham fan the way he was celebrating that goal.
He is, Trev.
Is he? Is he? He sounds like it. Listen, it's easy to say manage the game, and back in the day, we'd put it in the corners, we'd put it out for a throw-in in the corners, lock them in, and make sure that they can't get out. It's different now because they try and keep possession of the ball, and you don't want to take that part of the game away from them. But surely, literally seconds to go in the game, you've got to shut it out.
He tries to thread one through the middle, and there was a ball out right.
Tillemans.
I get it. Why? Tillemans a good player as well.
You've got to give him a rocket.
Just go right and keep the ball out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's scenarios. You work at scenarios in training. You go through different scenarios and you say, we're winning 2-1 with 5 minutes to go. How are you going to play it? And you stop the game and you say, why have you done that? There's a simple ball out. And it's just educating the boys how to see a game out. And for whatever reason, Leicester are struggling to get over the line in a lot of things. And, top 4 last season, I was at the game against Tottenham. They all they had to do was win at home. And they got beat 4-2, and Chelsea lost anyway. And it's time and time again. And I know that Brendan Rodgers has won things in Scotland. Obviously, the Liverpool situation with Steven Gerrard was unfortunate. But the more and more times this keeps on happening, people are going to start pointing the finger at Brendan and saying, can he get over the line?
I don't think you can point a finger at Brendan, surely not. I mean, Tillemans, he's a professional footballer. He's a very good player, by the way. He's a top player. You can't give the ball away like that. I mean, and that, you can have any manager you want on the sidelines. That is a poor mistake from a player.
I agree.
Of course it is, individual mistakes.
No, so where did Leicester go from here? They looked a real young side in that game as well. And let's not kid ourselves, Spurs had so much possession. Yeah. And yet, Leicester hit them. But when you look at some of the players they had out there, they looked really, really young.
Well, I think in their defence as well, that's the first Premier League game they're playing of 2022. So they've had a lot of postponements. But when you look at the stats, I mean, Harry Kane, I thought he played well. He was getting in positions, could have scored a hat-trick, took his goal well. I think you look at Steven Bergwijn, when Antonio Conte was talking about the players at Tottenham and he was mentioning him and Ndombele, you can almost sense it. He was like dismissive. He didn't want him at the football club. That's how I interpreted it. But then when he was talking about Steven Bergwijn, you could sense that he'd seen enough to want to keep him at Tottenham because he felt like he could offer something. And there he goes, 2 late goals, absolutely superb. But looking at the stats, Tottenham had 27 shots off target, 10 on target. Yeah. And Leicester only had 14 and 4 on target. And it was pretty equal, the possession. But when you look at how dangerous both teams looked, there was only going to be one winner, and it was against a run of play that Leicester were in that position anyway.
Yeah. Before I go on to who's going to finish 4th, I said earlier this morning, it does my head in, right? When you're 2-0 down and the boys at the back are still knocking it about like Beckenbauer as if they're 2-0 up, that kills me. I'm like, get it forward.
Yeah, but it's a philosophy.
It's the wrong philosophy.
Yeah. Well, listen, if you're defending a 2-1 lead and your defence is set in a position, why would you then go and knock it into that?
Because I'm 2-1 down.
No, keep it, build through the lines, stick to your philosophy. 5 minutes to go. All right, we'll take 2-1. But Liverpool used to do it.
My stats are brilliant. Look at my
Liverpool used to do it, Al. It's not new. Liverpool used to continue to stick to their philosophy of playing good football, and more often than not, they would get back in the game.
They weren't often 2-1 down.
No, they're not all Liverpools either. Going to the top 4, I mean, I would say Arsenal least likely out of West Ham, Tottenham, Manchester United. Least likely. I thought Arsenal, they looked a little bit toothless again last night, and I'd say the other teams look in a better position.
Do you think so, West Ham?
Yeah, I think
better than Arsenal.
I think
they've got the Europa League still to play for.
Yeah,
they're going to have games there.
Bit flaky, Ray. I think they're a bit flaky, and you've seen them in being good positions many times.
I can see another lunch coming on here, Al. I can see a little West Ham. I'll have Arsenal come back for West Ham.
Here we go.
Oh, go on. Are you in there? Take him on. Chinese at the shop.
Chinese.
There we go.
Gabby said he's West Ham certainties. He said.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far, but I would say that Arsenal.
Gabby's done his brains. Gabby's done it.
You look at the forwards last night. Lacazette came off. You've got Aubameyang. Obviously, he's not going to be at the football club for much longer. It seems that way. Eddie and
so that's a deal
Nketiah.
then, Trev.
That's a deal.
Right,
Eddie
you take
and
me for
Nketiah.
Chinese if Arsenal come over West
you
Ham,
two to-
and I'll take you for a plate of
Blackpool Pleasure
vegetables.
Beach.
Plate of vegetables, I'll take you, and I'll even do it for you.
I think a Chinese at the Shard of that cute
Yeah,
photo
lovely.
behind you, Trev.
Oh dear, I'm not putting that up. But yeah, I just think they're a little bit toothless. And you know, we talk about Saka is a very good player, and so is Martinelli. Saka's an international. They've got to be able to work this out in game situations where when it's not quite happening, they've got to be able to turn it around and right, I'm going to go to plan B. I'm going to start working him in behind so he doesn't get tight to me. And I seen the game against Nottingham Forest. I was there, did the commentary, and the boy Jed Spence. He was too good. He was like he's a little bit older and he's obviously got a lot of experience playing at that level, but he was too smart for the Arsenal players who are still learning on the job. And it's no surprise that Jed Spence is getting a lot of interest because I thought he was man of the match against Arsenal and putting an absolutely superb performance down the right hand side. But yeah, I think Arsenal are a bit short, and you look at the quality and the experience that they're lacking. And for me, they won't be in
just
the
a
top
quick
four.
one because I've got to break.
Quick one. I'm not travelling to Blackpool, Trev.
Quick one, Trev. Traore to Spurs. Listen, when he's on his game, this fella, he's strong, he's quick, and when he's taking people on and run the defenders, but again, I think Spurs need more than that.
No, I disagree because I think the formation that Antonio Conte plays, 3-4-3, which he wants to play, if you get him at the top end, you're not asking him to do too much work out of possession. So if you can think every time he's going to get the ball, he's going to be in the opposition half, he's going to be a lot of the time one-on-one. I think it'd be a great fit because one-on-one, ask any fullback, 10 yards outside their own 18-yard box in wide areas, if you're left with a one-on-one against Traore, you're banging trouble.
Is in product a problem with Traore?
Oh.
Not really, because when he was putting good crosses into the box before Jimenez got injured, they were the best link-up in the Premier League. You know, the amount of chances that he created for Jimenez. Jimenez is not the same player since his fractured skull. And obviously, you look at the situation with the managers changing, and he might be looking at Wolves and thinking, "I've been here a while now. Their ambitions not matching mine. Maybe I should look for a new move." So they might be mentally, he might have his head elsewhere, and he might have had his head turned. So I look at him. I think he's a great one-on-one player. I think he's a better decision maker than when he first comes to the Premier League. And raw ingredients, he's you know...
Raw is a good word.
Something of a shovel.
He's speaking of Chinese, Raw.
He's rapido.
Raw is a good word, but
I
he's
think
too
he's a good- I think he's a good
unpredictable
match.
for me. Give me Martinelli all day long.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Alan Brazil. Thursday and Friday morning, 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.